Welcome to Things You Don't Know. Today, we are going to explore a ubiquitous behavior, yawning.
Yawning is a common behavior observed in humans and many animals, characterized by an open mouth inhalation followed by a shorter exhalation. Despite its ubiquity, the exact reasons behind yawning are still not fully understood. However, several theories have been proposed to explain why yawning occurs. There are several physiologic reasons for yawning. Cooling the brain. One prominent theory suggests yawning helps cool the brain. When we yawn, the intake of cool air combined with the stretching of the jaw muscles increases blood flow to the brain. This can help regulate brain temperature, ensuring optimal function. Another hypothesis is that yawning helps increase oxygen intake and reduce carbon dioxide levels in the blood. However, this theory has been challenged by studies showing that yawning does not significantly alter oxygen or carbon dioxide levels. Yawning involves stretching muscles in the face and the neck, which might help increase alertness. The stretching can also help maintain muscle tone and joint mobility.
There are some supposed or proposed psychological and social theories concerning yawning. One of them is that yawning often occurs during transitions between different states of activity. For example, people yawn when they are tired, bored, or transitioning from wakefulness to sleep, or vice versa. It may serve as a mechanism to help the brain shift from one state to another. Unproven, but interesting. Yawning, everyone says, yeah, yawning is contagious in the sense that seeing, hearing, or even thinking about yawning can trigger a yawn. I would be very surprised if our listeners don't yawn at some point during this podcast. And it doesn't mean that you're bored or that you're tired necessarily. Just an interesting phenomena. And the phenomena is thought to be linked to empathy and social bonding. In humans and some animals, contagious yawning may help synchronize group behavior and improve social cohesion. The relationship between proper vocal technique and yawning is both intriguing and beneficial. Yawning and proper vocal techniques share similarities in terms of physiological mechanisms and the outcomes they seek to achieve. Understanding these connections can help vocalists, public speakers, and anyone looking to improve their vocal health and performance. What am I talking about here? Well, when we yawn, a natural and spontaneous stretching of the jaw, throat, and facial muscles occurs. When you yawn, if you put your fingers on your Adam's apple and you yawn, you'll see that the Adam's apple almost kind of disappears. It goes down. And it clears the air passages there and makes it more proper. Proper vocal technique requires relaxation of the same muscle groups. So vocalists often use exercises that mimic yawning to help release tension, ensuring that their voice is free and resonant. It can also help with breath control. Yawning typically involves a deep inhalation followed by a controlled exhalation. This process maximizes lung capacity and promotes efficient oxygen exchange. Effective breath control is fundamental to good vocal technique. Singers and speakers are trained to take deep, diaphragmatic breaths similar to those taken during yawning to support sustained and powerful vocalization. It's kind of interesting, too, because when you are learning vocal techniques, people will often yawn It sort of starts this whole process going. It's very interesting. Now, as I was mentioning, the larynx. During a yawn, the larynx, or commonly called the voice box, naturally lowers, creating a more open and relaxed throat. Now, this has some advantages, one of which is this position is ideal for reducing strain on the vocal cords in terms of vocal technique. Again, maintaining a low larynx position is crucial for proper vocal technique. It helps in producing a richer, more resonant sound and prevents vocal strain. Many vocal exercises encourage that kind of mimicking the sensation of yawning to achieve this laryngeal position. The other thing that is usually practiced in vocal techniques is to open your jaw from the back as much as you can rather than just from the front. And you can feel this when you yawn if you put your fingers at the place where your lower jaw attaches. When you yawn, it drops down. Kind of interesting. So, resonance and sound quality are affected, as we've said. Yawning does a lot of different things. It naturally stretches and lubricates the vocal folds, promoting vocal health and preventing injury. Proper vocal technique involves exercises that keep the vocal folds flexible and hydrated, similar to the effects of yawning. This reduces the risk of vocal fatigue and damage. Vocal warm ups often include exercises that mimic yawning, as I've said, and vocalists might perform sigh yawns to release tension and prepare the voice for performance. These exercises help in encouraging the appropriate muscles and setting the right posture for singing or speaking. It's interesting, professional singers and speakers who use these techniques do that. They do the yawning kind of the sigh yawn exercises rather than what you hear with amateurs and people who really don't know what they're doing, going through really useless exercises of ba 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 kind of stuff. Really very different. Anyhow, deep breathing exercises that stimulate the breath patterns of yawning are used to train singers in breath support. This helps sustain long phrases and maintaining vocal power. Okay, so it has a real connection, and there's a whole list of studies that have examined that and verified that.
I was surprised to learn that yawning is observed in a wide range of animals, including mammals, birds, reptiles, and amazingly, even fish.
Yeah.
The reasons for yawning in animals are likely similar to those in humans, involving a combination of physiological and social factors. Cats and dogs yawn in response to stress, confusion, or anxiety, as well in social situations as a calming signal. In primates, yawning can be both a form of communication and social bonding. With dominant individuals, contagious yawning in the group. Yawning in birds and reptiles may help with thermal regulation and stretching muscles similar to mammals. Yawning is a very complex behavior with multiple potential functions. While its precise purpose remains a topic of scientific inquiry, current theories suggest that yawning, as we said, serves to cool the brain, facilitate state changes, increase alertness, and promote social bonding. Whether in humans or other animals, yawning appears to be an important and multifunctional behavior that supports both physiological and social well-being.
Let's look briefly here at some species specific things concerning yawns. In particular, how the human cat bond can be enhanced by an appropriate human response. I'm sure any cat owner will tell you if they've noticed their cat yawn. Now, yawning back at your cat when they yawn can foster a sense of connection and understanding between you and your feline friend. This simple act can enhance the bond you share, making your cat feel more comfortable and secure in your presence. Here are some detailed reasons and steps on why and how you should yawn back at your cat. First, it's mimicking. Mimicking your cat's behavior can create a sense of camaraderie and mutual understandings. Now, cats often communicate through body language, and by mimicking their actions, you show that you are tuned in to their signals. Just like humans, cats can engage in social behaviors that strengthen their bonds with others. By yawning back, you participate in a shared activity that can make your cat feel more connected to you. Also, cats can experience stress and anxiety just like any other creatures, and yawning is one way they might cope with these feelings. When you yawn back, you signal that you are calm and relaxed, which can help reassure your cat and reduce their anxiety. Another issue here is trust. It's a crucial trust is a crucial component of the relationship between you and your cat. When you respond to their yawn, it can signal to your cat that you are a friend who understands them, thus building trust over time.
There are some tips about how to yawn back or with your cat. Pay attention to when your cat yawns. They might do this after waking up, during moments of relaxation, or even as a response to stress. Noting these patterns can help you respond more efficiently. I notice with my cat, Isis, it tends to happen uh, either right upon awakening or after she's engaged in some strenuous activity. Timing your yawn to coincide closely with your cat's yawn can make the interaction more meaningful. Try to yawn within a few seconds of your cat to maximize the impact. It's very important when yawning back at your cat, try to make gentle eye contact. This can enhance the feeling of connection. However, be aware that prolonged or intense eye contact might sometimes be misunderstood as a threat. So be sure and keep it soft and relaxed. Mimic the cat as naturally as possible. Open your mouth wide, take a deep breath, and then exhale slowly. The more realistic your yawn, the more likely your cat will interpret it as a genuine response. After you yawn back, watch how your cat responds. They may seem more relaxed, approach you for affection, or even yawn themselves again. These reactions can indicate that they perceive your yawn as a comfortable, positive gesture. If your cat yawns after waking up in the morning, as I said about Isis, take this opportunity to yawn back. This can start the day for both of you on a positive note, reinforcing your bond and setting a relaxed tone for both of you. During quiet moments, such as when you and your cat are lounging together, yawning back can deepen the sense of calm and shared relaxation. If your cat yawns during a stressful situation, encountering a new environment, or that worst thing for all cats, a visit to the vet, yawning back can help reassure them that they are safe and everything is okay. By yawning back at your cat, you engage in a form of nonverbal communication that transcends species barriers. The simple act can significantly enhance your relationship, making your cat feel understood and secure.
I know that some of this stuff probably seems a little unreal to some people. But yawning is not just a behavior observed in mammals. It's also present in reptiles, birds, and fish. Although the reasons for yawning may vary across these species, it generally serves physiologic and sometimes social functions. Here's an overview of why and how reptiles, birds, and fish yawn. Why? What about reptiles? Reptiles, for goodness sakes. Reptiles are ectothermic, i.e., cold blooded animals that rely on external sources of heat to regulate their body temperature. Yawning can help with thermoregulation by allowing cooler air into the body and promoting heat exchange. There have been studies which have measured the temperature of the brain, and yawning does indeed affect your brain to cool it down. And just like with a computer, they work best when they're not overheated. Okay, moving on here. Yawning also helps reptiles stretch and flex their jaw muscles, which is important for maintaining muscle tone and readiness for feeding or defensive behaviors. In some cases, yawning may be a sign that the reptile is comfortable and relaxed in its environment. So, how do these reptiles yawn? Well, they open their mouths wide, often stretching their jaws to the maximum extent. And it's usually accompanied by a deep inhalation followed by slower exhalation, although it is less pronounced than in mammals. Neck extension also tends to occur. Some reptiles, like say lizards, may also extend their necks while yawning, further aiding in muscle stretching and air intake.
Now, when it comes to birds, like reptiles, birds use yawning as a way to regulate their body temperature, thermoregulation, in other words. It can help cool down both the brain and the rest of the body, especially after vigorous activities like flying. Yawning has a respiratory function. It can help birds maintain their respiratory system by keeping their airways clear and assuring efficient oxygen intake. In some bird species, yawning can be a social signal indicating relaxation and reducing social tension within the group. Now, birds yawn by opening their beaks very widely, often stretching their necks upward as they do so. The yawning process may involve a deep inhalation followed by an exhalation similar to other animals. Some birds may also close their eyes or blink slowly while yawning, indicating a state of relaxation.
But bet you didn't know that fish yawn, but they do. Fish may yawn to regulate oxygen levels, especially in environments where oxygen availability fluctuates. Yawning helps flush water over the gills, which increases the oxygen intake. Gill cleaning, yeah. Yawning can help fish clear debris or parasites from the gill area, ensuring that the gills function properly for respiration. And it can also be a response to stress, helping fish cope with environmental changes or threats. Now, what they do, they open their mouths wide, which that allows a large volume of water to pass through their gills. And, this gill flushing action flushes water over the gills, clearing out debris and ensuring efficient oxygen uptake. Yawning in a fish can sometimes be a repetitive behavior occurring several times in a row. You can notice this when you see fish in, a tank or something where people are, watching them or keeping them.
So, to sum up, my friends, yawning in reptiles, birds, and fish serves important physiological functions such as thermoregulation, respiratory maintenance, and muscle stretching. In some cases, it also plays a role in social interactions and in stress responses. Despite the differences in their environments and in their biological needs, the act of yawning helps these animals maintain their overall health and well being.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little mini dive into the abyss of yawning. And maybe you picked up a few little tidbits along the way, tidbits of information, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, if you enjoyed it at all, please give us a like. We'd love for you to subscribe and make comments. We enjoy reading them.
We certainly do, friends. And I've been blessed in the 2 years we've been doing this to get an almost graduate level seminar in the world of ideas. It's really been a joy and a way to stretch my intellectual muscles, which is vital in this soundbite world of ours in which things tend to be reduced to the lowest common denominator sometimes. So we look forward to seeing you again. Many wonderful things are coming up. Have a nice evening.
Okay, bye for now.
Bye bye.